sure to cook.
Welcome back to another episode of Be Sure to Cook. Today, we're making spinach artichoke dip. So stay tuned and let's do this. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up some garlic. I've got 1 clove of garlic. You can use 2, depends on how much you are going to make. I got 1 clove of garlic. I've already rinsed and peeled it. So I'm going to cut this up. Okay, so I think it's better to mince this and get all the good stuff. So when I do this, you're only going to see, you're not going to see it. It's going to have a taste of it, Okay, I got some frozen spinach, and it's a real quick frozen spinach, and I'm going to open it up, and I have to drain this spinach. Okay, I opened this up, and it said pull and open. Don't be fooled, you all guys. Sometimes that doesn't work. So I got some scissors here, and I kind of just cut it open, and I'm trying to get all this spinach out. Because I'm making a small one, so I don't really need. Now, if you're making a big one, get 2 of them, because I think these are about 8 ounce. It's an 8 ounce bag of spinach. But if you're making a big one for like a whole bunch of people, get 2 or 3 of them, and just double your ingredients. So it told me to have it and drain this and make sure I drain it. So this is how I drain all my stuff. I get a strainer. I've got my spatula, and I just sat here and take my strainer and I take it through my strainer here. And this is like a metal strainer, so it's better, but you can use any strainer you want. Okay, this is the spinach. I always use spinach. When I cook spinach, I put 2 things in there that makes that spinach pop. And I know you don't think probably it does, but I have never had spinach taste like this. When I always make my liver, I know that sounds crazy. A lot of people don't like liver, but I like fried liver. I always do the mashed potatoes with it, and I always do a can of spinach. So what I do is I open up that can, I put a little butter in it, and to make it really pop, I use my famous Mrs. Dash, and it does so well with spinach. Believe me, these combinations go well. And I'm going to put a little bit in there. You can put just, shake a little bit in there. And then I use ground garlic powder. And you can shake it. We're going to be using fresh garlic powder also. Just take a little bit and sprinkle it. And then you want to mix that up, and you want to let that sit while we're doing that. And this is going to pop and give it so much flavor in our dip. It's going to blow your mind when you eat it. The next thing we have here that we're going to have to open up is gruyere. Gruyere cheese is a good cheese. It's a creamy to me, and it makes this dish pop. Okay, with this gruyere, I cut off the edges because nobody wants to eat the edge. It's kind of hard, and this is what they do when they preserve the middle of this. But you don't. Some people do eat the rind. I don't like the rind, and otherwise I cut the rind off. I don't like it, but if you like it, hey, use it. Because cheese it's all the cheese. It's just where they dried it out. Okay, so I got this, and I'm going to take my thing, and I'm going to take this cheese, and I'm just going to shred it. Okay, as I'm cutting this Gruyere cheese, this reminds me of a story, guys, that happened when I was much, much younger. Let me tell you about this story. Now, I've cut a lot of this cheese. So I think I got about 1/3 cup. Or a little bit more, but a little bit more won't hurt because cheese is good. So that's a lot of cheese that we grated here. Okay, let me tell you this story. This reminds me of my mother. My mother had went to go visit family that lives close to Paris. And I think they're like maybe 30 minutes from Paris. And I remember when the story came out as when she went to go visit the relative, they had to do something. They had to go somewhere for a couple of hours, and they were supposed to walk around the town that they were in and, visit. Well, they decided to buy a ticket to get on a boat. It takes them 30 minutes from where they were at to Paris. And so they thought, hey, we walked around the town that we're in, and we're going to go get on a little ferry boat, go across there, and visit Paris, walk around there. And, of course, the relative was not with them. So when they did do this, they went and they was over there and they was walking around and they was going through all the little stores, going everywhere. And they noticed that they went in and they bought this brown thing of cheese, which, oh, it was so good. And they were just tasting the cheeses and walking around the area. And when they went to, they got lost. Basically, they got lost in the area they were in. And so they tried to ask for directions to get back where the ferry was at, because they had walked and traveled, and I guess they forgot, where they were at. And what happened was, they noticed when they were asking the people how to get back, they were talking in French. They didn't know English. And here they were, English, and they were French, and they were confused and didn't know. So they were running around that area trying to find somebody to talk American to help them get back. And the more they were trying to find, the more they got lost. So what happened, for here she is, my mother, she was standing there, sitting on a bench, close to the dock, where she probably knew. And then my family member had came over and walked around and tried to find them, because he knew they were going to get lost. And here she is sitting with this big wheel of cheese, sitting, is what they told me, that, someone told me what had happened. And she is sitting on this thing, sitting here crying, while my father is standing there by her and don't even know where to go. And luckily, he found them. But she had that bliss. She came home with a big wheel of cheese. That's the only thing she got from Paris. A sad time, crying and wondering, how am I going to get back home? It's like she was lost in the whole land. But who got that cheese? I got that cheese. She gave me that wheel of cheese, and that was the most delicious cheese I've ever ate. I don't know the name of it. I know it was delicious. And you know what? I think it took me about 2 months to eat that wheel of cheese. It was probably about that big, but it was really thick, and I cooked it with everything, and I just sat around and I snacked on it, and my husband snacked on it, and we just loved that cheese. So this cheese reminds me of the Paris cheese that my mother got because she got lost. Okay, this is Havarti cheese, and I'm going to get a couple of slices, and I'm going to chop this Havarti. This is a real soft like cheese. It's kind of reminds you of a mozzarella, and I'm going to cut a couple slices, and I'm going to also put this into my dish. I want this to melt really nice in there. And this is 1/3 cup of Havarti cheese. It's kind of really hard to say, guys, so I kind of like to have to concentrate to make sure I say it right. Okay, so Havarti. This is 1/3 cup of grated parmesan. So I usually do it, but I already seen it in the store. It was already grated up for me where they grated that morning. So I grabbed this instead. It saves time when you can do it, when they can do it for you. You're so happy. You don't have to grate all these cheese and cut up all these cheeses. I had to cut up a little bit, but not as much. Okay, I got 1/3 cup of mozzarella, and I'm going to put it with my Havarti cheese because I don't have another bowl here. I didn't use them all up for other things. So there it is. And those are all the cheeses so far that I have to put in. I'm going to add some more to this. Okay, I've got a thing of artichoke hearts I'm going to be using. I'm going to open this. Okay, I'm going to need a little help. Okay, got a little help there. I needed that. I'm going to drain some of these artichoke hearts. And I'm not going to use a whole jar. I'm going to use some of these. There we go. I'm not going to use a lot. And I'm going to drain these because I don't need them here. But I'm going to need to put that juice back into my artichoke hearts and put this in the refrigerator and save it for another meal. Okay, see, I'm draining these. You can put as many as artichokes you think you want in your dip. And it goes along. And I'm also tell you it goes along with the spinach. You can do as much as spinach and artichokes that you want to do. But make sure if you do, just double your ingredients. I'm cutting up the artichokes a little bit. Okay, here we go. So as we chop our artichokes, I'm going to add a little Mrs. Dash in there because, hey, they don't come seasoned. And I'm going to do the same thing. Adding a little garlic there. Get all in all. And I'm just going to toss this around and let those flavors get in here. Okay, I've got an 8 ounce of cream cheese, and I need it to be softened. So that means you got to leave it out, put it out on your refrigerator on your table, and make sure it goes real soft. So you want it to kind of stay out and not be cold, if you don't know what I mean by saying soften. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to use a whole 8 ounce. I got 1/3 cup of sour cream. So I've got my half cup here, and I want to make sure this is a 1/3 cup. Okay, I'm taking 2 whole tablespoons of mayonnaise. Okay. Hey, that's that grated garlic that I grated up. Oop, and it's sticking to my jar. Fresh garlic will do that. It was dry up and it will stick to wherever it is. But we're going to get all this out and let it stick into this. Okay, I just shook a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I just shook a little bit in there. Parmesan already, grated from two different. I got fresh and I have, the powdered kind. So, I'm sorry, when I'm mixing, then we're going to mix and combine this all together and try to get all the lumps out of here and smooth out this cream cheese. Okay. Then I'm using a blender and I'm putting it on the lowest setting, and I'm just going to mix this up really good. Make sure I'm mixing up all these ingredients because it's going to need a real smooth, creamy texture. Okay, now here's come all the great stuff. We're going to add the gruyere, and we're going to hand mix this. Ooh, make sure you get it all out. And then we're going to hand mix this and get this all in together. This is grated Parmesan. And don't forget, I put just a little tiny bit of the powdered Parmesan in there. Because you can put any type of cheeses you want when you make this dish. It's up to you. It's what kind of cheese you want, But this is a great, great thing here. This is Havarti, and you remember I had the mozzarella at the top, Havarti at the bottom. And I'm going to throw these in together. Okay, you remember that spinach, guys? So I'm just going to start sprinkling it around and try to tear up as much as I can because it is in lumps. Okay, so I'm going to start tossing the spinach around in here. I want to get it all in here and all mixed up, and I'll spread it out very evenly. Don't forget, guys, spinach can go a long way. If you like a lot of spinach, you can do it, but it's artichoke and spinach, so the spinach is not the star. We have 2 that are the star. Okay, it is the star, but it's not the star by itself, is what I meant. Because we have artichokes. You say, hey, don't be leaving me out. I'm in here too. I'm a star. Yes, you are, artichokes. You're the star. You are the star along with the spinach. Okay, so now they're together. Yay! You are together, guys. And I'm just going to toss this around and make sure every artichoke and all the spinach is combined together to make this a happy, happy, happy dish. And it is. It's nice, it's thick, and it's creamy. Okay, after mixing this up, I let this sit right here for a minute while I got my baking sheet. I put a little aluminum foil over it. And I thought, I want to present this in a nice little thing. So I'm going to use my little ramekins here. And I'm going to spray these with some nonstick spray because I want these to come out very easily. Okay. And I'm going to fill them up. I have some more over here, but I don't know how much of this I want to put in and fill. I don't know how much it's going to be to fill. So let's try to fill these. So I've got one ramekin here that I'm going to take. And I'm going to put this in here. Oh, see, I don't want it to go on the side. I'm going to wipe those off. So I don't want it to mess up my ramekin. And I want to fill them a little bit. I don't want to fill them all the way to the top. Because in this, I'm also going to be putting some cheese toppings on it. So I want it to be nice and great. Okay, I'm going to put these in the oven at 375. As it cooks, I'm going to be making a topping because when this gets nice and bubbly, I'm going to put a topping on it. It's going to be so delicious, and it's going to bubble up in there. It's going to be delicious. So let's put this in here and get these going. Okay, they're out, and this is the great dip that we made, spinach and artichoke dip. Okay, let's get one and let's put it on our plate. Alrighty, look at that. Beautiful spinach artichoke dip. I got some great chips to go along with that. I got some really nice ones. I got some little bows, some little chip bows I'm going to put down here, and it's going to go great with our little artichoke and spinach dip. Okay, here it is. Oh my God, look how creamy that is, and it's delicious. And I'm just going to add, look at that. I'm just going to add that right on to my little bows. These are so delicious. Oh, it's going to be great. Okay, this could be a great party dish. It'll be great for just having people over, gathering up friends. Great. It is good to make, have friends sit around, talk, and nothing but spinach and artichoke dip. Hey, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need you all to come back and watch plenty more shows that we're going to do together. Because guess what? I didn't make this alone. You and me, we did this together. And we're going to do plenty more dishes. See you next time. Bye.